Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom, the show where we delve into the building blocks of better health. I'm Ethan Foster, your resident observer of the human condition. I'm here to highlight all the curious ways we humans try to stay healthy, and sometimes fail spectacularly.
And I'm Alara Sky, a sharp mind with an even sharper tongue, ready to serve up a generous helping of humor alongside a dash of practical health insight. Today we're talking about something you might never have guessed could be so interesting. A spicy Korean side dish called kimchi.
Never would have guessed we'd spend an entire show on kimchi. It's basically cabbage that's taken a detour into a fiery, tangy wonderland, right?
It's so much more than just spicy cabbage. Kimchi is the epitome of flavor and function. Think of it as the popular kid at school who's also valedictorian and captain of every sports team.
Meaning it's beloved, brainy, and unstoppable. So how did kimchi climb so high up the superfood ladder? We're talking about a side dish known mostly in Korean cuisine, but now it's in health magazines, fancy cooking blogs, and apparently the secret diaries of microbiologists.
Right. And those microbiologists are geeking out over kimchi for a reason. Kimchi is fermented, which means it's loaded with probiotics. And not the wimpy kind that disappear the second they see stomach acid. These are hardy lactic acid bacteria that survive and set up shop in your gut.
Yes, let's start with the big probiotic pitch. Eat fermented foods, get happy gut. I feel like that's a t-shirt waiting to happen.
Make it a bumper sticker. Honestly, people get fired up about kombucha, yogurt, sauerkraut, but kimchi has an extra flair because of its spiciness and the wide variety of ingredients you can use. Napa cabbage is the star in the classic version, but there's also radish kimchi, cucumber kimchi, you name it.
I've always wondered how one product can have so many variations yet all be called kimchi. It's like the countless versions of me whenever I try a new diet. Same general person, slightly different seasoning.
Kimchi's brand is strong, like you, Ethan. It can adapt to an array of vegetables while keeping its core personality. Plus, kimchi has capsaicin from chili peppers. Capsaicin is that spicy compound that not only adds flavor, but may even help boost your metabolism.
So, this little side dish isn't just for waking up your taste buds. It might actually help you burn a few extra calories throughout the day. Then again, if you eat a mountain of fried dumplings with your kimchi, I suspect your net calorie intake might still wind up on the plus side.
Always the voice of balance, I see. Right. It's not a magic pass to eat a bucket of fried chicken. But kimchi's probiotics and fiber content do help with weight management in an indirect but powerful way.
Sounds like it helps maintain a healthy gut environment, kind of like trimming the hedges so no weeds can take over.
Exactly. Except these weeds in your gut are harmful bacteria that can mess with your metabolism and overall health. One highlight from recent research is how kimchi consumption can reduce body fat in overweight individuals. There was a study showing that people who ate kimchi powders had a meaningful drop in fat mass, while those on placebo actually increased in fat mass.
How do you do a placebo for kimchi? Is it just cabbage with red food coloring that isn't fermented?
Probably some bland alternative. I picture participants who took the placebo describing it as sad coleslaw. Meanwhile, the kimchi group got all the fermented goodness and saw better metabolic markers, such as lower LDL cholesterol and triglycerides, plus a bump in HDL, which is the good kind.
So basically, adding kimchi to your meals might have a direct link to better weight management and cholesterol balance. That's a strong argument for fermentation if you ask me.
Definitely. And it's not just any probiotic in kimchi. We're specifically talking about strains like Leuconostoc mesenteroides and Lactobacillus sakei. These can help shift the gut microbiome in a favorable direction.
One of the biggest stars in that microscopic soap opera seems to be something called Akkermansia mucinifera. It's like the cameo appearance you never expected, but that steals the show.
Yes, Akkermansia is the super cool microbe that produces a mucin layer in the gut. Picture it like the moat around a medieval castle, protecting the fortress from invaders.
Or like the protective bubble we all wanted in high school to guard against awkward interactions. But in the gut, this bubble is crucial. A strong mucin barrier means your intestinal lining stays intact, less inflammation, fewer infections, and a more robust immune system.
And guess what? Kimchi consumption has been shown to promote the growth of Akkermansia. That means you're getting a microbe that helps keep the gut environment tidy and well defended.
So we have probiotic strains teaming up to fight the bad guys, and a champion microbe that's building castle walls in our gut. This is the best action movie I've never watched.
I'd watch that. I'd also watch the spin-off about how kimchi helps with mood via that fabled gut-brain axis.
Right. The never-ending saga of gut microbes sending secret telegrams to our brain. People with better gut balance often report feeling more positive, having fewer instances of depression or anxiety, and even sleeping better.
Yes, it's amazing. Kimchi's probiotics aren't just sitting around in your intestines playing cards. They're sending chemical signals that can influence neurotransmitters like serotonin. A healthy gut environment often translates to a better mental state.
So if I'm feeling grumpy, maybe I need a kimchi break.
It's worth a try, or at least you distract yourself with the spicy tang.
I'm guessing we should mention that not all store-bought kimchi is created equal. Some brands might be loaded with sugar or preservatives that your gut microbes probably wouldn't appreciate.
Right. If the list of ingredients reads like a high school chemistry textbook, you might want to reconsider. Also, some mass-produced kimchi is pasteurized to extend shelf life, but pasteurization kills the beneficial bacteria you actually want.
So check for the words raw or unpasteurized on the label. You want live, active cultures, ideally minimal or zero, added sugar, and no artificial stuff.
And if you really want to go for gold, make it at home. Fermenting your own vegetables is surprisingly easy, and you get to control every aspect: salt levels, ingredients, spiciness. It's also cost-effective.
Yes, we get to channel our inner artisan. Plus, your neighbors will be so intrigued by the new aromas wafting around your kitchen. A bold move if you live in an apartment.
If that's a concern, maybe you can place your kimchi jars in a well-ventilated area or keep them discreetly in the fridge. Once they're fermented to your liking, you store them cold, and that helps maintain the beneficial bacteria.
Right? And you can even branch out beyond kimchi. Fermented carrots, beets, radishes, cucumbers. So many possibilities to add color and flavor to your meals.
Exactly. And any fermented vegetable can help repopulate your gut with beneficial bacteria, though each veggie will have its own flavor profile and potentially unique strains of microbes. It's like creating a diverse little ecosystem in your gut.
Speaking of diversity, we should talk about how a healthy gut microbiome is linked to better overall health. It's not just about weight management or mood. It's about your entire immune system, energy levels, even your complexion.
Yes, the state of your gut has a ripple effect throughout the body. That's why fermented foods are so strongly encouraged in many nutritional approaches. Kimchi just happens to be one of the most delicious ways to get those probiotics.
I'm intrigued by the notion that something so seemingly simple as a side dish could have such an impressive impact. It's like discovering that the comedic relief side character in a movie is actually the hero.
Kimchi has layers, both figuratively and literally. It's not just about the chili pepper kick. There's garlic, ginger, fish sauce, or anchovy sauce in some recipes, and the probiotics from fermenting all of that together. It becomes a nutritional powerhouse.
And let's not forget the fiber. Because kimchi is veggie-based, the fiber content alone helps with digestion, making you feel full and satisfied. That can help you avoid mindless snacking.
True. Fiber feeds beneficial bacteria, leading to the production of short-chain fatty acids like butyrate and propionate. Those help regulate inflammation and support the cells lining your colon. It's a whole microcosm of benefits in one dish.
So if you're looking to drop a few pounds or you just want better gut balance, kimchi is definitely worth incorporating. It helps keep the gut microbiome diverse, fosters the growth of good bacteria like Akkermansia, and helps reduce the population of troublemaker microbes.
In other words, kimchi sets the stage for a microbial block party. The good guys come in, dance, and push out the rowdy gatecrashers, and you get to reap the benefits in the form of improved metabolism and reduced inflammation.
Now, folks might be wondering how much kimchi to eat. Is it half a jar, a teaspoon, a bowl for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I recommend starting small. If you've never had fermented foods regularly, 1 teaspoon per meal is a good way to ease in. Kimchi can be quite spicy, so test your tolerance. Over time, you can increase to a tablespoon or more.
So no all kimchi crash diet then? I was about to trademark the spicy cabbage cleanse.
Please don't. Balance is key. Even with all its benefits, kimchi is best consumed as part of a varied diet that includes other whole foods. Otherwise, you might become known as the coworker who permanently radiates garlic and chili fumes.
That might hinder the social life, but at least your gut would be partying. Let's talk about creative ways to use kimchi, aside from just plopping it next to some rice.
Kimchi fried rice is a classic. It's a quick dish. Stir-fried rice with kimchi, maybe some leftover veggies, and a bit of protein. You can top it off with a fried egg.
That sounds amazing. I've also seen kimchi pancakes, where you chop the kimchi and fold it into pancake batter, savory, spicy, and tangy all at once.
Yes, those are delicious. Kimchi stew, also known as kimchi jjigae, is a hearty soup especially good in cooler weather. You get heat from the chili peppers, richness from the broth, and the fermentation tang from the kimchi. It's a triple threat.
If you get real creative, you could do a kimchi omelet. Eggs can handle a bit of spice, and the tanginess offsets the richness of the yolks.
True. Basically, if you like spice and you like tang, there's almost nowhere kimchi can't go. But let's not forget, the raw aspect of kimchi is where the probiotic punch is strongest. When we cook it, we do lose some beneficial bacteria.
So maybe a mix of raw and cooked usage. That way you still get some live cultures in your meals. It's good to keep them partially uncooked if you're aiming for maximum probiotic benefits.
Absolutely. And that's another reason to make your own. You can always keep a big jar of raw kimchi in the fridge, use some of it for cooking, and still reserve a portion to enjoy raw.
Moving on, let's consider the deeper health angles. We talked about weight management, the gut-brain axis, and cholesterol. Are there any other big highlights we should mention?
Yes. Kimchi is also high in vitamins A and C, plus antioxidants, carotenoids like beta-carotene and lutein, and minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium, depending on the ingredients. It's a real nutrient buffet.
And let's not forget the anti-inflammatory properties. Chronic inflammation is linked to so many modern ailments, so any food that helps tamp down inflammation is worth noting.
Right. And the fermentation process can make some nutrients more bioavailable. It's like upgrading your veggies to a premium package. More nutrients, more absorption.
You know, with all these benefits, it's a wonder everyone isn't making a beeline to the kimchi aisle. Maybe some folks are intimidated by the strong flavor or the fermentation process.
Or perhaps they're afraid their fridge will smell like it's hosting a garlic chili festival. Admittedly, fermented foods do have a distinctive aroma, but the payoff is huge.
I've found that once I got used to the tang, I started craving it. It's like your taste buds say, we have discovered a new dimension of flavor. We're never going back to bland.
Yes, it can be addictive, in a good way. Your body often recognizes nutrient-dense, beneficial foods and encourages you to have more. At least that's the story I tell myself when I'm on my second bowl of kimchi stew.
So, how about a quick step-by-step mental guide for making kimchi at home, just to give our listeners some confidence?
Sure. Traditional kimchi starts with napa cabbage cut into pieces and salted to draw out moisture. Then you rinse and drain the cabbage. You create a paste with chili pepper flakes, garlic, ginger, fish sauce, optional, and perhaps some sugar or fruit for a hint of sweetness. You toss the cabbage in the paste, sometimes adding sliced radish or green onions.
Then you pack it all into jars, leaving some space at the top for expansion, and let it ferment at room temperature for a day or two. After that, you taste test. If it's tangy to your liking, move it into the fridge. If not, keep fermenting for another day.
That's the gist. Once it's in the fridge, fermentation slows. You can enjoy it over the coming weeks or months, depending on how quickly you go through it.
I might have to try this. It sounds straightforward, though I suspect my first batch might come out looking like a science experiment gone wrong.
That's half the fun. Experiment and refine. Every batch tastes a bit different based on the freshness of ingredients, temperature, and personal flair. You can adjust the spice level, add other veggies, or skip the fish sauce if you're vegan.
And while we're on the topic, this principle applies to any fermented vegetable: carrots, beets, onions, cucumbers. You just need salt, maybe some spices, and time. Let those beneficial bacteria work their magic.
Precisely. And if people don't love kimchi's spiciness, milder ferments are also beneficial. The key is to get a variety of fermented foods into your routine.
So, to summarize, kimchi supports weight management, fosters a healthier gut microbiome, can improve your mood, and helps combat chronic diseases through its anti-inflammatory properties. That's a lot of goodness for something that's typically seen as a garnish.
Exactly. Kimchi might be a side dish, but it's playing a leading role in metabolic health, immunity, and even mental well-being. It's the sidekick who's actually the superhero.
If that doesn't inspire folks to give it a try, I don't know what will. Maybe the next time you see a jar at the grocery store, pick it up. Or, better yet, try making your own at home.
Yes, and remember to look for raw, unpasteurized brands if you're buying it. That's how you ensure those live cultures are present. If you want ultimate control over ingredients, or if you love the idea of a personal fermentation project, do it yourself is the way to go.
Before we wrap up, is there any parting wisdom about kimchi you want to drop on our listeners? A final zinger, a profound truth, or perhaps a pun about cabbage?
How about this? Don't let your gut feelings go sour, unless it's a good sour like kimchi. It's cheesy, but hey, cheese is another fermented food, so it fits.
I see what you did there. On that note, we'll bring this episode of Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom to a close. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of kimchi and the wonders of fermentation.
And remember, it's not just about spicing up your plate. It's about fueling your body with beneficial bacteria, vitamins, and antioxidants that can keep you energized and healthy.
We hope you enjoyed our spicy conversation. Be sure to tune in next time for more insights into how to nurture your body from the cellular level up.
Until then, keep exploring your culinary curiosity. Who knows, maybe that tangy jar of kimchi in your fridge will become your new go-to for flavor and health.
I'll definitely be looking at kimchi in a whole new light. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Take care, folks, and happy fermenting.